Thank you. Okay, Madam Chair.
Awesome. I think that was it. So congratulations. We'll continue doing our meetings as before. And then we'll go ahead. Do we have to do another roll call? This is where it says right here.
The chair can announce that everyone is present.
Okay, everyone is here. So we'll go ahead and move forward to the approval of the agenda. So at this time, the commission may announce any items being pulled from the agenda or continued to another date, or request the moving of an item on the agenda.
I'll motion to approve.
Any
I second.
Yep, the approval of the minutes, and then we'll go ahead and move.
We'll go back to the approval of the agenda for a vote. Commissioner Avila,
Aye.
Commissioner Cadena,
Aye.
Commissioner Ayala,
Aye.
Vice Chair Rodriguez,
Aye.
Chair Figueroa.
Aye. Great. We'll move forward to presentations.
We'll go back to the approval of the minutes.
Oh, then we have just approve it.
No, we didn't finish the
No.
vote for the
Oh.
agenda.
Oh, okay.
So we're on the approval of the minutes. You need a motion.
Yes.
I'll motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Commissioner Avila,
Aye.
Commissioner Cadena,
Aye.
Commissioner Ayala,
Aye.
Vice Chair Rodriguez,
Aye.
Chair Figueroa.
Aye. All right. Now we'll move on to presentations. All right, so then update on field uses identified in the following agreements for the memorandum of understanding with the sports league, the lease with Arm Tech Defense Technologies, and the sublease between city and Coachella Youth Sports Association Soccer.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This really is an update with regards to where we left off our discussion on this topic in November. So I'm going to go through some similar slides and a few updated ones and provide that update for the commission. I'm going to share my screen if you will provide me 1 second. Are you guys able to see my screen? I'm not showing that it's sharing yet.
Yes, I
We
can
can
see.
see it.
You can see the PowerPoint?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. Just in review, we have 2 MOUs, one with our adult soccer leagues and one with all of our youth sports leagues, which include American football, soccer, and baseball. And both of the MOUs have the same sections identified on this slide within them. There's a few areas that we've recently discussed with our leagues that could use some updating to reflect the current uses. One of which is to blend the 2 MOUs so that there's one master MOU as opposed to one for youth and one for adults. We think that will make it cleaner. In speaking with the leagues, they were concurrent with that recommendation. That being the first one just discussed. And then the second recommendation would be to eliminate the references in the MOU regarding days of the week. When we added the community field use hours, it changed this. And so that would just update the MOU to reflect with referring them to the permit as opposed to identified days of the week. The third recommendation by staff and supported by the soccer leagues, which is the primary user that is affected by this change, number 3, is that the Bagduma fields 3 and 4 and Rancho Las Flores field 1 would be available from December through June. Currently, it's only through May, and the reason for the change is that American football uses have kind of been later in July, so it would allow us to still do the maintenance and free up the use for the additional month. So due to that, we would still be able to achieve the maintenance needed, and we'd be able to provide an additional month of use for soccer. The fourth recommendation would be that soccer use of fields during the summer, which is when we do our maintenance, and we close down most of our soccer leagues for that repair work that needs to happen and the overseeding. Field 4 at Bagduma, which is usually overseeded later in the fall because of American football use. It hasn't been used in recent years due to basically American Football League that is at Bagduma has shrank in some of its uses and only requires one field to be dedicated to it at this current time, thus freeing up field 4. And the 2 soccer leagues have agreed that they could share that field to allow for some of their game and practice demands for facilities by sharing it 3 days, one league, and 3 days the other league, with 1 day of rest for the field during that time frame, August through October. Just this is just a visual just to reflect on Bagduma fields, basically those that are identified with C and C3 and D are the soccer fields. C3 and D are the soccer and American football fields, and B and A area primarily are the baseball fields at Bagduma. And at Las Flores, we have 3 soccer fields only. And there can be 4 if they are aligned in the opposite direction, basically, if they are aligned east and west. We pulled all of our leagues, and basically our discussion last meeting in November, commissioners, was we did have a request by one of the soccer leagues to have access to one of the fields at Bagduma due to the growing size of their league. CBSL made that request. We did since then have dialogue with both leagues, and they did come to an agreement whereby CBSL would withdraw that request, being that CISA and CBSL came to the agreement that the fields at Armtech, they would be willing to amend the MOU to allow for 2 of the fields to be identified for CBSL use and 2 would remain for CISA use. That is something that both the leagues are agreeable to. If the commission is agreeable to continuing in that manner, we will bring the amended agreements to the commission in the following meeting in February for your recommendation and review, and then it will go to council. We have discussed with the leagues that basically as the two fields would be for one league to use and 2 fields would be for the other league to use. We will separate out irrigation will be metered separately for 2 fields, and the other 2 fields will be on different meter. So each league will be responsible for payments correspondent to their meter that irrigate their fields identified, and each of the leagues will be responsible for the maintenance of their 2 corresponding fields. They did already also agree on which fields that would be. So the fields that are close, there's 4 fields on the Armtech property. It's about 11 acres. You can somewhat take, by taking a look, you can identify the 4 fields roughly on the aerial shot here. Essentially, the 2 that are closer to the fence line at Armtech, these are 3 and 4. These 2 would be CBSL, and 1 and 2, which are the 2 that are closer to Avenue 53 around, by the turn. Those 2 would be for CISA. That has been what the 2 leagues identified that they would be agreeable to. That being the case, we would recommend moving forward with the identified recommendations, changes to the MOU, and also bring back an amendment to the Armtech lease that would stipulate the changes we just discussed, adding CBSL as a party to that lease and separating out the 2 fields and the 2 maintenance and utility responsibilities correspondent thereto. And with that, that does conclude my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions that the commission may have of me.
Are there any questions? I guess my question is the Armtech field, that one's field 4?
The Armtech fields, there are 4 fields. There's
Okay,
1,
okay.
2, 3, and 4.
And that was the solution that the 2 folks from the leagues last time around, like this is a solution that they agreed on, is that they would just share this field and then share the irrigation costs and all of that, like not the Bagduma ones, like this is that one?
This is, exactly, this would resolve the request originally made by CBSL to have Bagduma Field 4. In lieu of Bagduma Field 4, they've withdrawn that request, and CISA is gonna split the use of the 4 fields and would basically reduce their access to the 4 fields to only 2 and give up the other 2 that would be used by CBSL.
Okay, okay.
And that lease, as it reads now, relays that the responsibilities for utilities and maintenance of those fields are the responsibility of the leasee. In this case, currently it's CISA, but when amended, it would be 2 fields would be the responsibility of each league, essentially.
I see. Okay. I know I noticed that there's residents on who, I don't know if they, can we open up like a discussion for the presentation, or is that, would that
Yeah,
be?
they are, if they would like to speak, they can raise their hand and the clerk will identify them for speaking on the item.
Okay. So if there's anyone who wishes to comment or speak on the presentation, or this is a good time to do that. So you can raise your hand.
Don't see any hands.
All right. Do the commissioners have any other questions or concerns?
I just want to make sure that it's cleared with all parties that are involved so that there is a clear understanding what the use would be. And if that's fine, then that's fine.
It already looks like they already have discussed this, so they're already kind of in, both leagues are already in agreement on what's going on right now, right?
Correct. I received correspondence from CISA the first week of the year that confirmed. We spoke before the holidays and had a lengthy conversation. Both leagues were present. And the first of the year, I received a written email from CISA identifying that this was the direction they would like to move forward with. And then I relayed that to CBSL, and they are happy to entertain this and withdraw their request for Bagduma Field 4.
Okay, sounds good to
And
me.
they understand the next steps would be that the agreements would be drafted, presented to the commission. Then those agreements go before council for approval. If council approves them, then in the month of March would most likely be when they would be provided access, not necessarily the 1st of March, but sometime in the month of March. We do have to drop another meter and separate out irrigation correspondent there too. Staff has already evaluated what that would take from a labor perspective, and we are prepared to do so. We will bear those costs, but then utility costs will be the responsibility of each organization, nonprofit soccer league independently. As it is now currently CISA's, it will be split between the 2.
Okay, thank you.
And just quick question that I should know this for sure, but when folks are renting the fields, do they pay directly to the city, or is Armtech involved in that?
So
Or no?
it is Armtech's property. We are only involved because Armtech feels more comfortable with us being the organization from whom they are leasing from. They don't want to be that direct leg. They have requested that we remain on, and that is the only reason the city is really involved in this. In the past year, about a decade ago, they directly had a lease with one of the leagues, and the league was not maintaining it. So around that time, the city became involved, updated a lot of the irrigation, improved the conditions, and then did another lease in kind of the circumstance where we are now, where we were the subleasee and they sublease from us, and that's the relationship Armtech has identified that they prefer, and that's why we are kind of this 3-party, will be 4-party to this lease arrangement. But that is not city property. It's not technically city park. It is property that Armtech is leasing for the use identified as soccer uses for green space. We do not have any, we don't rent these fields. These are managed by the 2 leases.
I have another quick question. You know, I know you said for the meter, they're gonna add another meter. Is that getting, are the leagues paying for that new meter? Or is
No.
it the city?
The city is.
Okay.
We're dropping the meter, we're paying for that install, but after that component is done, we want to make sure that no one has to bear that, basically that upfront cost, but moving forward, everyone is responsible for their own utility expenses.
Perfect, thank you.
You're welcome.
And I guess also on that question, you might have mentioned this already, but since both leagues will have to pay for the utility of using the water, and if it's master metered, like how would you know?
There's 2 meters. So 1 meter is specifically for the
For 3 and
fields that are
4,
for
and
one
then-
league. And there's another meter that will be, basically one is CISA's and one is CVSL's.
Okay,
And
so there'll
each
be no
meter
problem.
are gonna meter the water that's being used to irrigate their leased fields.
That sounds like a good agreement. Okay. So if there are no other comments, questions, or if anyone from the public has anything to say, I think we can go ahead and move on, and we'll wait for the draft of the new agreement, and we can vote on it.
And this item is a presentation, so it does not require a vote at this time, Madam Chair. We wanted to make sure we were going in a direction the commission was comfortable with. I wanted to report back to the commission with regards to this item as when we had left it in November, it was still undecided.
Great. All right, so I think we can go ahead and move forward to new business. There's no more presentation. Seeing there's no new business either, we can go ahead and move on to public comment. Okay. Looks like there's someone, Alma.
Sorry, yes, we have one request to speak, and that is from Alma Aceves. Alma, you can go ahead and speak. Alma, you're muted. If you can please unmute.
Alma, ¿nos escucha?
Andrea, did she log off?
No, she's
Oh, no,
there.
she's
I've asked her to unmute, and she's unmuted now.
Okay. Alma?
Maybe her mic's not working.
Yeah, I think it's probably, yeah, you know, when you like log on and you like don't connect to audio, but you can still listen and be on video. Maybe that's what happened. Alma, creo que su audio no está funcionando. Sí miramos la manita, pero no su audio. Creo que tiene que conectarlo con su Wi-Fi o llamar por el número por teléfono. Alma, sí, para seguir con la junta, ¿verdad? Creo que a lo mejor podemos conectarnos con usted después o de la junta o durante la semana para ver si tiene comentarios o algo más con el contrato. So I think we can go ahead and move on if there's any other public comment. Oh, aquí está. Alma, sí la miramos, pero no la escuchamos. Sí, Alma, creo que el audio no, y está como muy despacio también el video. If not, we can move on to maybe Juan Alvarado or Robert Fuentes, and we'll come back.
Okay, the next speaker is Juan Alvarado.
¿Aló?
Oh, hola.
Hola, soy Alma.
Oh, hola, Alma,
Soy
sí te
Alma, nada más
escuchamos.
que me conecté por medio de Juan. Nada más quería hacer unas preguntas sobre la 53. Durante el tiempo, ¿sí me escuchan?
Sí, sí la escuchamos.
Durante el tiempo que estuve yo ahí, los 5 años, hay varias cosas ahí que sí me gustaría que ahorita que ya van a estar los de la otra liga, pues trabajemos mutuamente las dos ligas, al igual que sea todo parejo con la ciudad, que lo que es para todos los soccer o béisbol o fútbol americano. Ahí en la 53, las luces de la calle donde está la callecita en medio, está muy oscuro para los niños, para la juventud, y siempre he hablado con la numeración que tienen los postes, pero no hay respuesta y está muy oscuro ahí para toda la juventud, sobre todo la juventud. Y del lado de la carretera, ahí hemos pedido topes porque seguido juegan carreras de carros ahí y es muy peligroso cuando nosotros estamos jugando. Esa observación, ojalá que ahora que va a entrar la otra liga nos acomodemos para ver todos esos detallitos de esos campos. ¿Podrían ayudarnos a que eso se mejore?
Gracias, Alma, por su comentario. Y en lo personal, yo no estoy muy segura sobre eso, pero lo que sí sé es que sí hay postes que existen ya en esa área y no hay luz, el distrito debe pues asegurarse que sí están funcionando, pero si no hay nuevos, ese sería un nuevo proyecto, ¿verdad? Y también que cualquier, creo que cualquier, ¿cómo se dice? Como inversión para esa área, no sé, y no estoy muy segura, a lo mejor Melissa nos puede orientar un poquito más, es porque la 53 no es, la ciudad no es dueño de ese lugar, ¿verdad? Ni parques y recreación del distrito, es de esta compañía privada, entonces a lo mejor la pregunta también es si habrá nuevos parques de soccer, ¿verdad? En un futuro, que a lo mejor este espacio ya no se usaría en un futuro porque habría más lugares, pero creo que como veo este espacio es como un espacio que la compañía está dando para usar, pero no inversión está planeado en este lugar de que yo estoy.
Ok, entendido.
Ujú.
Los topes no corresponden a la ciudad porque sí está peligroso ahí cuando juegan carreras.
Los topes no estoy segura, no sé si alguien, Karina, Maritza.
Maybe Maritza can kind of elaborate a little bit on what the city's responsibility is and if there's responsibility on arm check or requests need to be made, just like in a regular neighborhood if lights are out or anything like that.
So I'll look into the lights out. I put it down and I was going to report out on my public comments, public works director comments with regards to that some of if the lights that she's referring to though are on private property, then those would not correspond to us. And I think that street may not be a public street. I believe that's Armtech's access point, but I will double check with staff. Those have not been reported to us. But we will investigate and follow up on that directly with CISA. With regards to the speed humps, we will make that request. That request would go through our engineering department. It does need to get studied through a traffic engineer. Usually major arterials, that Avenue 53 is an arterial, does not have speed humps. Usually those are improvements that are primarily made on residential streets due to speeds that could actually cause more concerning results. But we definitely can make the request through our engineering department and provide an update once a study is available to us to provide that.
Great, thank you, Maritza.
Well, before we go any further, I'd like to remind the commission not to have dialogue with the public comment. If we can refer all of the dialogue to the Public Works Director to answer.
Thank
Our
you.
next speaker is Robert Puentes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Robert Puentes. I'm actually on the Parks Commission of Cathedral City. And I wanted to tune into your commission to see how you guys do business. Because I'm really impressed with the parks Coachella has. And I'm kind of wondering how you got all those cool parks when we have nothing like that remotely in Cathedral City. So I don't know if you guys can comment on that or not.
Thank you, Robert, for your comment. Maritza?
I would just, I thank you for the compliment, and I'll share that compliment with our team. It really is a team effort from the council's vision, the commission's vision, and the staff that put together those applications that get submitted. Through the years, it's been my privilege to be able to see the park acreage grow so much in Coachella. And I really thank you for the compliment.
Okay, we may be asking you for some advice in the future.
We're here to provide support at any time.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Do we have any other public comment?
There are no other hands raised.
All right, seeing none, we can go ahead and move on to reports and requests. So are there any commissioner comments? Okay,
No comments. It's the start of the year and I think we had a slow end of the year. I will say, if I can comment, sorry, and I will comment. I did attend the tree lighting event. It was a really nice, well-organized event. A lot of people came out. It's really nice to see the community out again and the residents out and just seeing everyone participate. So, and the City Hall and 6th Street was decorative so beautifully for the holidays. It was like the best. I saw so many people just walking around and taking pictures, but they did a great job decorating just downtown. Those are my comments. That's it.
And I have a quick comment. Very much Maritza, and just to say thank you to actually the team that put together for the grants for the parks. Because when I was on going through Facebook and they were mentioning all this stuff about the grants, a lot of people from other cities, even I could say even Robert was saying, they were upset about the city not having that, but it does take a team effort. And I'm glad actually that other cities are noticing that. So Maritza, tell the team thank you. And actually, we really, all of us here at Coachella, we really appreciate that. And also I got the chance to stop by today. Actually, I was in 6th Street Coffee. I stopped by real quick for the mural, and I actually got to meet the artist there, and she said she was actually finishing, I think today, and it looks actually really great. Everyone that stopped by while I was there was really giving great compliments towards the new mural. Just hopefully we could keep it together there, and it's really nice. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
great. Awesome. The only comments I have is just like, I'm glad to continue meeting with you all and just continuing having this conversation with residents. I think one thing that I look forward to though, as the meetings go by, right, to try to make sure that folks out in like the soccer leagues, people who enjoy parks, recreation, anyone that has something to say and be able to, give them this opportunity during the commission meetings to come do comments on anything that they are seeing in the community and being able to streamline like issues or things that they're seeing and they don't know where to go to. This could be probably that perfect opportunity for people to come and give their comments and fix problems that, to avoid bigger problems later in the future. So I'm happy to continue, sharing that with the community. I hope you all are too. And I'm just also very interested in a lot of other questions I have about what's going on. And I congrats to City of Coachella too with those funds that Commissioner Avila was talking about. I know a lot of cities in the state too are benefiting from all that parks money. But it would be great to, do, more updates this year too on like, where are we on our park projects, right? Like when they're awarded or even like, I know parks take years and years to construct, but also years and years to get the financing to make sure that they are built. But it is nice to give residents, updates here and there. And I think we've done a pretty good job, even last year with the surveys that we did for the Begduma replacement project. I thought that was really cool. A lot of people participated. So happy and glad to see hopefully more stuff like that and get folks just excited about parks.
I have one more question for part of my comment. I just want to confirm that these meetings are now in person and on Zoom. Am I correct?
Commissioner, we did hear the commission during the Thanksgiving November meeting, about going back to hybrid. Due to the numbers that we are experiencing right now with COVID, we did err on the side of caution, and this month we did do Zoom only. We will reevaluate in February to see if the governor changes. Currently, he has the mask mandate for inside, and it really makes it very hard for the cameras to follow if there are commissioners on the dais as to who's speaking. So as we reevaluate that through the governor's orders, we will update the commission with regards to February if it will be hybrid or Zoom only.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
I got a question. Maritza, is there any updates on the parks, the cages and the park in Ponderosa?
Commissioner Ayala, so when you speak of the park on Ponderosa, do you mean the park that was just submitted for the grant? That's why I want to clarify, because I know you've asked me about that a couple of times, and
Correct.
the one on Ponderosa, is that the one on 52?
Correct.
So 52 is the one that was recently just awarded to us by the state. The grants manager I know has the agreement before her, but we are going to take that to council. I haven't brought that topic up to the commission yet because the council hasn't, still has a couple steps they're going to take with regards to receiving that. And once I get an actual schedule with regards to our next steps, design, the timeline for design, those things, I will provide the commission an update, but I don't have those details yet. We just very recently were awarded that grant on Avenue 52, and we're very excited by it, but I don't have as much detail yet to provide a presentation.
What about the other park, the basketball courts on 52 and Frederick, I believe?
The Begduma Park basketball courts, that project at Begduma, that is in design, and it is expected to go into construction in the spring of this year.
Do we have any other events coming up for the city of Coachella?
We do still need to take our event calendar back to council, but our standard events usually have included Mariachi Festival, that is usually at the very end of March. Day of the Young Child and 4th of July have been kind of our standard ones, but again, that still is going to go back to council for their approval.
Okay. Thank you, Marissa, for all your hard work.
Thank you.
Are there any other commissioner comments? Seeing none, we can move on with Public Works Director comments.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't have additional comments. I just want to say thank you to the commission for their compliments. And I'll extend those to my team. I really can't do it on my own. Vince is on this meeting. He's instrumental to all of our events that we put forward and also to a lot of the recreational legs that we have and collaboration with DRD and other partners. So it always is like there's multiple layers to our being able to deliver these also on the field side. So I will share that. I really appreciate the compliments because we usually hear on, especially on the maintenance side, we usually hear more of the to-do list. So thank you so much. It was really, really pleasant to hear the other.
Well, seeing we're at the end of our agenda, we can go ahead and adjourn at 5:21 p.m.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Have a
everyone.
good evening.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.